You can still definitely see it. Just looking at some of these sand dunes right here, you can see how that erosion kind of affected the beaches. We're working to learn where that search is being focused on right now. St. John's Island Fire Department posted on social media saying that the suspect is now on foot. So St. George Rosenwald first opened back in 1925 as part of a mission to create better quality schools for Black students here in the South. It's a two-person race for the Republican presidential nominee, and although Haley does have ties here to the Palmetto State as its former governor, experts still say it may not be enough for her to catch up to former President Trump. District 42 is a huge district covering parts of Dorchester and Charleston counties, so the next state senator has to be ready to lead this crucial part of the Low Country. Well, this special called board meeting was originally scheduled for Tuesday afternoon, and it was then canceled due to scheduling conflicts. Well, the meeting is now back on, and instantly community members have already noticed a difference. Mecklenburg has served as mayor for the past 8 years, and he tells me he does not plan on stopping anytime soon. But former state representative William Cogswell believes it's time for a change, and he's the best one to bring it. The trial is set for 31-year-old Michael Juan Smith. He was incarcerated at Lee Correctional Institution for attempted murder and weapons at the time of the riot. Morning and happy Friday. I'm Kennedy Buck. Thank you so much for starting your day with us. Meteorologist Chris Nessman is here getting you ready to start the day. Okay, no frost was on my car windows.
Nope.
Thank the Lord.
Nope.
When a door plug blew off an Alaskan Airlines plane mid-flight, the incident triggering multiple investigations. Jen Sullivan looks at what those investigations have found and what aviation officials say about the plane model's safety. Well, Mel, you just mentioned that plea agreement, and it came as a surprise when Judge Clifton Newman was supposed to hear from Murdoch's defense team about several requests and motions they filed ahead of his expected trial. Authorities say a Somerville woman was hit and killed by a vehicle while walking along North Maple Street Wednesday night. They say she was hit just before midnight. We've actually been seeing police cars leaving the scene, which is just hours after a peaceful day at the ocean turned frightening. We spoke to two people who were nearby when the shots were fired. The sound of gunshots interrupting senior skip day, a tradition for high school seniors to make more memories before heading to college. But for Kylie Lancia, this day will be remembered for a life-threatening moment.
Well, at first I started seeing everyone run. So, like when you see people run, you start running. And so then I started hearing all the guns firing off and everything.
She says panic set in.
I was so scared. I was praying, in my head. I was over here praying and everything, just hoping I was my family and all my friends would be safe.
And for Ed Barrow, who was enjoying beach time with family, he says only one thought went through his mind.
So I got 3 kids, and they're all between the ages of 15 and 19. So where are they? Are they on the beach? Are they close to the shooting? Where are they, right? Let's get them. Let's get off the beach. That's all I cared about.
Both Barrow and Lancia say they're grateful to be alive and back with family. So once the government ruled it was illegal to send students to separate schools because of their race, it would take another 10 years and another lawsuit for South Carolina schools to fall in line. The suit was filed by 13 brave Black students to change the state and the rest of the country forever.
You're learning very early to appreciate that this thing we call civil rights is no easy matter.
And it's even harder when you're young. But this became the reality in September of 1963 when 11 Black students in Charleston County entered all-white schools and accomplished the unthinkable.
It means that South Carolina and all of its elected officials and administrators and all decided that we don't care what the Supreme Court says. We are going to resist this as long as we possibly can, and they did.
For Millicent Brown, activism was all around her growing up. Her father was a former NAACP president, and her mother was always on the front lines fighting for change. Brown then joined them when she became the lead plaintiff in a lawsuit with 12 other students, forever changing South Carolina schools.
My father always referred to me as the ace up his sleeve because he was able to change Minerva to Millicent. And the case stayed in my name as chief plaintiff for another 3 years.
The judge ruled in favor of the plaintiffs. However, only 11 out of the 13 students were able to cross the lines of history because the ruling came down 2 weeks after school had started. But the 11 who were able to continue had no idea what they were walking into.
You don't ask children to put themselves in that kind of setting and not anticipate that there will be some kind of repercussions. I think about it these many years later, not so much just for myself, but for the others, most of whom were younger than me.
And one of those students younger than Brown was Barbara Ford Morrison, who was only 13 years old when she entered an all-white James Simmons Elementary School.
The first day of school it was a time that, I really didn't know what to expect. They really didn't know what to expect. My father took us to school, and there was a lot of staring, finger pointing, people laughing, skinning up their noses. They really told us in their behavior that they really did not want us there.
But Morrison had her 2 sisters with her every step of the way to help carry the burden.
It kind of made you feel like, well, you're not alone. You're not going through the bad things by yourself.
This experience changed Charleston County schools and both women. Brown and Morrison both still advocate for children's rights, making sure history is never forgotten.
They should know about their history. So that it can influence their lives in the future in a positive manner.
Brown is the author of Somebody Had to Do It, an online exhibit that examines the process of desegregation through a child's eyes.